Hi, I'm Clarise Starling and you're my severance package, and welcome to the August 2020 record ramble. Sorry there hasn't been a video in like half a year. There was so much to catch up upon that it all started piling up on each other. But what we're going to do is from this month onwards, we're going to be catching up with the months as they're going, and I'll see if I'm going to record the backlog. I might do, I might not. We'll have to wait and see on that one. And secondly, I've been buying, as you can see, an absolute shit ton of CDs recently. Mostly cheap CDs just to get the FLAC files off them, because I've moved all of my library to FLAC rather than MP3. So when it comes down to doing CDs, unless it's an important CD, you know, something that hasn't been pressed on vinyl, I'm going to leave it to a brand new section called CD Showdown. I'm just going to give you simple one-sentence synopsis of every album, rather than, you know, doing a half-hour video talking about every single one in depth. Having said that, the first album on today's video is Moul's background music, easy listening. I found out about this because there's a 2004 Mount Eerie live album where Phil plays a song which is then called Moul's Cover, which was him trying to sing this Japanese song with what lyrics he could make out, having written them down, and I absolutely adored that cover, and I kept trying to find the original. It's Koneko Calendar from this album, or EP I suppose, which it's just really great early 2000s Japanese alt-rock, heavy guitars, melodic vocal lines with like the occasional screaming part, and I absolutely fell in love with it. But I had to order this. This is the only copy I've ever found online. It wasn't even on Discogs. I had to order this through a Japanese courier service where they shipped it to their warehouse from a Japanese vendor and then ship it to the UK. So whilst the CD itself was only like 7-8 quid, I ended up spending, you know, 25-30 quid on just getting this over here. But it was well worth it for the 5 tracks that are on here. So the records for this video are sort of in 2 chunks. I haven't been terribly prolific with buying up records this month, but when I did buy records, I kind of bought a lot in one go. So the first chunk is my family, once lockdown loosened up and everything, we went to a little seaside town called Deal, and I'd been there before with my girlfriend, and we'd found this really lovely bar record store kind of thing, and we really wanted to see if they were still open, and they were. So we thought we better fucking support them in these times of need. So the first album I got from there was Public Enemy, Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. I found out about this because obviously I knew it existed before, but I found out it was really good because the engineer on this, Nick Sassano, was also the engineer for Sonic Youth's Daydream Nation. So when I was really into Sonic Youth, this album kept popping up as an example of really punky early hip-hop. Punky is in ethos, not in music. And then I did a shit ton of reading about this and about how influential it was on lots of 90s hip-hop, and got really, really into it. So I thought, fuck, I definitely need to own this on vinyl. And it wasn't terribly expensive either. It's the first time I've seen this for a reasonable price, so picked that up. My girlfriend's really into parquet courts, and while we were there we found Human Performance and Wide Awake both on vinyl. Human Performance was slightly pricier than Wide Awake, and my girlfriend prefers Human Performance, so we sort of made an agreement that she would get Human Performance and I would get Wide Awake, so that we did end up getting both, you know, to fill out the collection. I think we've got 5 Parquet Courts albums between us now. And yeah, really great modern punk rock. It's the new Pavement essentially, and both of these albums are really good, even within their discography. This is a kind of edgy pick. We picked up together Pangea Badilak. We spent ages standing in the shop umming and ahhing after the sexual assault allegations against members of this band came out, but we figured this was already secondhand and it was only like a tenner, so we weren't directly supporting the band by buying it. We were supporting a shop that we really like and getting music that we can then separate from the artist for that. So it's really great garage rock, like really heavy guitars, great songwriting, and my girlfriend really likes this album. So we sort of bit the bullet and bought it because it saves us having to buy a copy from the band, and we thought it was better off this way. The final thing we bought from this shopping deal was Built to Spill play the songs of Daniel Johnston. So in the 2017 tour, Built to Spill were supporting Daniel Johnston on his tour, and they apparently, this is what their rehearsals sound like. That was like the tagline for this album. So it's on yellow vinyl, and the loveliest part of it is we got this lovely songbook with it, where it's all taken from the notebooks of the lead singer of Built to Spill, and they're all Daniel Johnston songs with all the chords and all the lyrics written out, and they're really lovely, like, simple covers. I was kind of expecting this to be a bit too much, but they're really like down-to-earth covers of really lovely songs, and a lot of which I hadn't heard before, so it's sort of like a nice Daniel Johnston deep cut cover album from a band who really respects him and are really talented. A few videos ago I talked about going to see Mount Erie live and how wonderful an experience that was. I'm sure you're sick and tired of hearing from me about that now. But when we went to see him, I knew from reading other people's tour reviews that he was going to be playing this one really long, ambling, strange song about accounting his life, and I was really excited to hear it, and it was absolutely wonderful to hear that in person. And there were bits where we laughed, bits where there were people around us crying, like hugely emotional. So I was waiting and waiting for an official release of what this was going to be, and that turned out to be Microphones in 2020, which of course I pre-ordered the first day it was out from PW Elverum & Son, and lo and behold, Layter on this wonderful gold embossed hard stock sleeve, double album, well, 3 sides of music. It's a 45-minute long song, so you would think it's a bit of a haul to like sit through and sort of get all the way through, but it's so pristine and beautiful and amazing, and it sounds wonderful. There's just 8 minutes of guitar before the vocals come in, but you don't even notice it because you're so just engrossed in the stereo width of the album. And then when the vocals do come in, and then later when the electric guitars and drums come in, it all just sort of swoops you along, and before you know it, you're half an hour in, and then you've basically finished the album. The week that I got this, I was just non-stop playing through my favourite parts, like skipping through the song and then listening all the way through and then going back a bit and then playing it through again, just like over and over again, because I just couldn't get enough of listening to this. And it's absolutely amazing, and I'd recommend you go and take a listen. This album I should have included on a much earlier video, but I accidentally had it shipped to my parents' house, so I had to wait till I could go and get it to include it in a video, so that's why it's here. This is Bird Rib by Leah Cardos. This is the new album by one of my lecturers at university, and it's very Bjork, trip-hop, electronic inspired, lots of like really intricate sound exploration and like things that you wouldn't expect to be turned into an instrument that have been done so in a really inventive and brilliant way. Like Into Sports has loads of kitchen utensils and cutlery that have been turned into a software synth that just works so brilliantly in the sort of style of electronic and ambient enthused music. And it was great talking to her about how she went about making this and how she went about marketing it. And also it's just a really good album. So for my second excuse of the day, the reason this video is so late is because Record Store Day this year has been really weird. It's been in-store and it's been digital, so I had to wait for a few records to arrive because there's Record Store Day for the next few months. I definitely wanted to include August records in the August video, so that they don't get mixed up with the September releases and any possible October ones as well. But this is what I picked up at Record Store Day. I was at work, so I had to send my girlfriend out to the shops to pick up records, and then order some of the stuff she can pick up at 6 PM. The first of those albums was Slint Outtakes. These are the original 1990 mixes, 1 year before the album came out, of Breadcrumb Trail and Good Morning Captain. And it's a really, like, I thought paying you know, 27 odd quid for 2 songs was going to be a bit much, but it's really well presented and I think it works really well. It's supposed to look like a tape master box, and the insert are the 2 reels that the songs were on, so it's really well like put together, and I'm really glad I got it. And it came with a glow-in-the-dark slip mat with a spider from Spiderland on it, which I'm not using because I've got my Reckless Records black metal slip mat, but my girlfriend didn't have a slip mat, so I figured she could use this one. Second thing I got was Slowdive's self-titled EP from before their first album came out. So this is the first thing that Creation put out for them. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but I knew that it was something as a collector that I would want. I'm a huge fan of Slowdive. I love all 3 of their albums. So I thought, this is my one chance to pick up this on nice coloured vinyl, even if I do have to pay 27 quid for 3 songs. Oh well, sticks and stones. Whilst these are records that technically my girlfriend picked out rather than me, I thought I'd include them in this video as they're sort of albums that I am also interested in, and I'm glad that she picked up. These are Gorillaz D-sides and G-sides. These are the first time these have been released on vinyl ever. These are the B-sides from the Gorillaz' first album, and these are the B-sides from Demon Days, their second album. This is a triple gatefold album, really heavy duty shit, and this is just a single album. And I've loved these since I was like, 10 years old, when the Gorillaz were really big. Growing up in the UK especially, you sort of couldn't go anywhere without hearing Demon Days all the time, so I really liked listening to the B-sides from them because it felt less in-your-face pop music, so it's great to have especially D-sides on vinyl now. The other album that she picked up was Space Hog Resident Alien, or as I like to call it, that one song from Guitar Hero 5, because that's all I really know about this. We both thought this was an early 90s album, but it turns out it was 2008, and this is the first time this has been released on vinyl, so obviously it was sort of like another, this is my one chance to pick this up, better get this now. The last thing I got, and the culprit for this video's lateness, is Switched On Seeker. I didn't think this would ever get a physical release. I pre-ordered it digitally on Bandcamp, and really liked how it sounded and all of that. So when I heard from Banquet Records that this was getting a physical, I knew immediately that I'd definitely have to pick it up. Basically, this is a all-analog synthesizer remake of the 2019 album Seeker, which I had a few gripes with the sound world of. I loved a few of the songs, but the overall sound of it didn't gel with me as much as every other Michael Cronin album. So to hear it completely restyled in this 100% analog synthesizer, crunchy vintage sound has been really lovely. I almost prefer this to Seeker, and the vocals have all been re-recorded as well, so it's a lot softer, a lot suppler. I was amazed that this got a release, and I'm really pleased that I picked it up. So, as mentioned, I've got a load of CDs that I'm now just going to bosh my way through. I'm going to try and keep this as quick flash as possible, and in the future I'm going to do this same segment for every time I get CDs, except for in a situation like the Mules, where I want to talk about a specific album in more detail. But let me welcome you to the first ever...
Welcome everyone to CD Showdown.
1/3 harsh noise, 1/3 soundscape, and 1/3 shoegaze. Best of Nirvana. It's got Spellbound on it, the best Nick Drake album. The third best Nick Drake album. Manx 90s alternative rock. Christians. This has Spoon Man on it. Chart posting websites told me to buy this. Some people think this is better than A Nation of Millions, but I don't know yet. I had this digitally, but I found it for like 3 quid, so why not get a copy anyway. Hey, do you remember that Friends music video? I already have this on vinyl, but like, it's a nice box set with 3 CDs and harp music. Hey guys, it's early 2000s pop punk again. Animal Collective's like only album. This has the song about Brian Jones Sound Massacre on it. I used to own a copy of this, and I don't know where it's gone, so I bought it again. One of the only Beck albums I didn't have. I have a collector's edition of this, but it has everything except the CD, so I got the CD. It's another Kanye West album. When I get knocked down, but I get up again. It's the only Pixies mainline album I had yet to get, so I picked it up. I got really into this album, like, after I got rid of my CD of it. So, then, when I needed a CD of it, I had to buy it again. This is like The Verve's only good album. This has Cannonball on it, and the drummer from Slint plays on it. Hey, you like the Blue Fetus album? Well, here's another one. The day this arrived in the post, I downloaded a FLAC of this, which rendered me buying this pointless. I have a really lovely vinyl copy of this, but like I couldn't find files for the songs anywhere, so I bought the CD of it to get that. Anyway.
Sorry, I hope that wasn't too much to sit through. Hopefully, now that I've sort of rebuilt up a lot of my CD collection after getting rid of loads, this will be a lot smoother and easier, and it'll just be sort of new finds that make their way into the collection. Who knows though, I might just buy another 50 odd CDs before next month and then waste your time with that as well. Now, if you've reached this far, I know you've been enjoying my content enough that you actually watch all of it. There's a few things that I'd like to sort of shoot out, especially having been in lockdown and having so much time on my hands that I obviously haven't been doing productive things with. I've been playing lots of video games, and video games are sort of the second joy in my life after music. So I wondered if anybody would be interested in watching any related video game content, either like collection breakdowns or what I've been playing or reviews of games I've completed, anything like that. The first video I was thinking of doing is a similar to the Record Ramble collection breakdown of all the Final Fantasy games and things that I own. But if that sounds like too much, or if it sounds like it's just going to be a boring drivel ramble much like these are, leave a comment, leave a comment saying yes or no, or what you think, or anything you'd be interested in watching. I'm always open to new ideas, and I would like more comments on my videos, So, shoot me a shot, say what you want, and I will catch you on the flip-flop.